Hello, my dear friends. I have not been here for a while, so I almost forgot how to speak in English. Specifically, I am finally moved from Vietnam to Serbia, and for the first time in a while, I feel calm and confident in the future. And I'm just recovered from being sick, but there's good news. Bubble is doing great, and he's really liked the dog-friendly environment. There are so many places for walk and play, and even free dog park. That's crazy. Now you know that I'm alive, and I want to share with you what I managed to implement in my game for this moment. But first, let me recap what game looked like before and how it looks now. Let's break down what's changed in gameplay and graphic visual. So in this iteration, I completely reworked the visuals because it was awful before. The visual style of my game was assembled with free assets. I was not satisfied with that, so in this time I really do busy work with shaders and post effects. Now the game looks like mine more than before, but of course there's a long way to go. First, I decided to kick out the god-awful water that my partner used in his previous project. Nothing personal, the water is good, but not for my tastes. So I wasn't in the mood to obsess with water really much, so I just grabbed a free stylized water that geniusly provided by Matrix Rex. Huge respect to him.
I just wanted to say thanks.
I hope I will reach the same level of shader mastery someday. The pack by Matrix Rex has different presets of water, and I settled with tropical water and adjusted it a little. As you can see, it's a massive improvement, but who knows, maybe someone liked the previous one? But I'm not one of those people. Just updating the water doesn't change the situation at all, of course. The real eyesore was the grass. It looks like the ugly cousin of Oblivion's one. The trees were not better, so I decided to make my personal trees, handmade trees, after I fix the grass shader. If you watch a lot of devlogs, you've probably seen someone who has fun with Unreal Engine RVT, Runtime Virtual Texture. It's a killer feature that provides the ability to blend your rocks, trees, and anything else blend with textures on terrain seamlessly. So it made such a realistic stylized look. Sadly, but Unity hasn't this feature out of the box.
I said, put the bunny back in the box.
And if anyone know why, so please drop a comment, because I don't know. Of course, because it's not built-in feature, it doesn't mean that it's impossible to do. But the workarounds was so janky, so I just almost abandoned Unity for Unreal multiple times. I found a fantastic grass tutorial by Binary Lunar and followed to it straight. But things doesn't always work as shown, so I was improvising really often.
No.
And also I drew inspiration from Victoria Zavhorodnia. She's really cool creator that made environments in Unreal Engine. So I adapted some of her techniques in my own project on Unity. The hardest part was making terrain blends with the grass. The solution for this problem is absurdly ridiculous. You need to create a camera that constantly captures your terrain. Then you should save it as a texture. You need to place some nodes. The shader then uses the object coordinates to tint the grass based on the terrain below. After the BDW die, I got finally grass shader that works mostly.
My knowledge have become so fulfilled that I, as if already 100 trillion billion years, I've been living on trillions and trillions of the same planets.
The new problem is that Unity cannot say the camera to ignore the fog.
Please do not deceive me in that manner anymore.
So, while working on the grass shader, I need to disable the fog, otherwise all the grass would inherit the fog tint. As I mentioned before, the grass blends with the terrain with a snapshot. This snapshot was taken from the top and all fog are captured. I tried everything, even custom shader functions. I tried to tweak render settings individually for camera, but nothing worked. So I gave up with default fog in Unity and grabbed a free fog shader from Unity Asset Store. At first, the scene looked like the Slenderman on mobile, and the switching settings to Ultra just murdered the performance, like 20-30 FPS. After hours of tuning, I finally got a decent result that didn't ruin my grass. The old trees was from a free asset pack, and they were not bad, but it was time for custom foliage and trees. First, I modeled leaves and trunks in Blender. I followed another tutorial by Lobby John, and I was aiming the style of Agbutis trees. Next, I spent over a week on trunk shader. It may look simple, but it's my first self-made shader with no tutorial, so I'm very proud of it. So I created a basic tileable texture in Substance Designer, so it's not necessarily. And then I restored the proper blending of colors in Shader Graph. I hope to swap my old trees with new ones in terrain tools, but it's impossible because Unity supports instantiating only prefabs with one mesh and one material, but my trees was made of two materials and two different meshes, so I forced to place all my trees by hand. Also, I added the loads, LOD. It was more easy than I think. So I just made a low poly version in Blender by reducing the amount of polygons, and then I plugged all the smaller version in the prefab. Then I added some fancy While I obsessed with visuals, my partner was making the gameplay features. He made the whole core loop in just 2 evenings. Now you can start the game, choose the level, only one so far. Then you should solve a mini puzzle and then build up a campsite. And of course you can finish the game by completing all quests. So my code partner is very cool and I'm really proud of him.
We need to get a 5,000 wish list. That can lead to at least or around 1,000 cells.
In the next devlog I will add more gameplay and polish some part of what I have now. I want to add new camping asset because current ones feel outdated. That's all for now. I hope you like your time with me. Please subscribe and leave a comment what do you think of my game. And thank you for being here. See you in 2 weeks. Bye!